Hi everyone, it's Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Mayhem, and as you will notice, in the month of June, we're starting a new approach in the Mayhem group, where instead of selecting scrap lifts of mixed media artwork to do, and some of us may continue to do that, but each week, we're going to be dealing with a selection of 3 products, types of mixed media products that you might want to add to your layouts. So this week, the products are paint, tissue paper, and embossing. And so I'm gonna give this a try. I have pulled out some paint, just Liquitex Basics, and I'm not gonna get real fancy with paint here. It's just a nice light blue color. I have some tissue paper. My photo is of James and Ava at her very first country concert in Savannah. And so since it was a concert, I'm going to include my tissue paper has sheet music on it. And let me I'm using a sheet of foundations paper from Vicki Boutin, and I keep it in the tablet so I know what the coated side is. It's the kind of the top side, the side that's closest to the top side. Let me just say that. And so this is the last sheet in that tablet. So let me trim the end off. I'm sorry I didn't do this beforehand. I was gathering up some supplies that aren't usually real handy. And I think I'm going to enjoy a little bit of a twist on things. I have covered up my one Ken Oliver mat with my other Ken Oliver mat. And I've taken my regular mat off because it might get warped by the heat gun. But the Ken Oliver mats can take the heat. So I'm starting with this white piece of paper. I'm not quite sure what to do first. I tell you what I am gonna do. I'm gonna tear the tissue paper. Just gonna kind of do some random tearing. I kind of want this to have a little bit of a grungy effect, although not heavily. And I'm not happy with how I tore that at all. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board here. This has scalloped edges, and that might be kind of interesting. So I'm gonna, instead of trying to do an attractive looking freeform sort of tear, I'm gonna do this, and then maybe my photo can go down here and I can have some embellishments around. Okay, so I'm gonna put the tissue paper aside. I'm actually gonna put it in the recycle bin because I have more, and that's kind of messed up. So for right now, I'm going to dump some it's Vicki Boutin's matte acrylic gel. I'm going to dump that onto an acrylic sheet here, which was the cover to that pad, and I'm going to use a really wide paintbrush, just like a regular house painting paintbrush. And I'm going to put some below the tissue, and I'm going to let the tissue form those little wrinkles that it wants to form. And I'm going to do some more gel, acrylic gel on top of it. Okay, now I'm going to take some paint, a little bit of paint, and mix it in with the acrylic gel. I may as well use the same, well, no, I may want that paintbrush for something else later. So let me use a palette knife to kind of mix those things. And what I'm trying to do here is liquefy the paint a little bit more. It's kind of thick, and I'm going to brayer it on. And where's my brayer? Here's my brayer right here. I'm just gonna kind of get a little bit of it there, and I'm gonna do some so that the whoops, I've torn the paper. Didn't expect that to happen, but that's an additional layer of interest, right? And I should, to prevent that, one could just go in one direction instead of going up and then coming back, because that's when it caught it. And there it is right there. So that goes in the trash before it dries on my brayer. I'm gonna kind of do, oh, and I did the same thing. So I'm thinking there'll be some embellishing right up in here. Okay, and I want to get some of the edgy look over here. I want this to look like it's inside of a brayered design. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna wipe a couple things clean. What I'm gonna do next is brayer on just some, well, I'm going to brayer through a stencil some more of the acrylic gel, and then I'll use that to catch my, gosh, where's my trashy trash can? Okay, I'm going to use that to put on my embossing powder, and I've got some embossing powder mixed in here. These are the little containers that I use when I'm mixing just random embossing powder. So I'm officially saying I don't care what's in there. So I'm going to kind of do this, there's a little bit of that on the, there's a little bit of that gel on, this is testing actually, on the paintbrush. So what I'm trying to do here is to see if this embossing powder sticks. And I'm gonna let it down into here. I want to see if the image caught. It didn't really, but because the paint is too wet underneath it. So it kind of stuck everywhere, except you can see a little bit of the design over here. So that's okay. I'm going to now do a fresher coat of this and brayer it on instead of brushing it on. And we'll see how it does. And I'm going to kind of go I'll lift that up, and it's sticking to the tissue paper, and that's apparently going to be a problem. I'm going to do these kind of down in the corner here. I'm actually thinking I like the paintbrush better because I can get it down in there. And then I'm going to come over here and do this one. And I'm kind of going to concentrate these down in the area where the photo is going to go. Now I'm going to do some splotches like right there. And we'll see now what happens. And if I don't like it, I can always stop this and start another video. I'm just gonna, if it doesn't completely hit things, I'm perfectly okay with that. I want it to look kind of random and imperfect. And as you can see, I've got a splotch here, but that little kind of splotch came out right. I've got a little bit of a thing here, and I've got the coffee ring there. So I think I'm good, and I'm going to recycle this container, and I will recycle that embossing powder later. So now I'm going to dry this before doing anything else. I'm gonna sorry for the noise. I suppose if I were a technical wizard, I could go back and edit and play some nice music while I'm doing this. I'm wondering, I wondered when I started with this idea, I wondered what would happen to the tissue paper. You can kind of see that splotch drying now and making into the enamel. Hit this. I'm hoping that the heat gun might encourage some of the tissue paper to stick. If it doesn't, I can always go over it with a little bit of liquid glue. This is kind of a strange color. I actually thought it was white with a metallic in it. And it is kind of, but it's sort of turned it a little bit beige. So it kind of looks like a coffee ring that was coffee milk. I have some butterflies here that I thought I might use. I don't want to get those hot. Like I've said before, I think that I really like using butterflies on Ava pages because of all of the changes that she's gone through in the past 3 years. And I love this photo. James wearing his Black Rifle Coffee shirt. He has a retirement dream of owning a Black Rifle Coffee franchise, and there's a Black Rifle Coffee in Savannah, so he and Ava went there. Ava had been the weekend before with her mom, and so she actually beat him to a Black Rifle Coffee. He's an Army vet, and the company is owned by Army vets. And it comes in, what do I want to say, very robust flavors. And he really likes that. I'm going to call this pretty well melted. And I've got the appropriate kind of grunginess to it that I was looking for. And I'm going to do some stamping after this and some embellishing. As I said, Ava is called was called Little Squirrel, so I put squirrels, and I have this great stamp, and it has a large squirrel and a small squirrel. I'm going to use one of the small ones. There are 2 small ones, and I'm just going to, and I started to emboss the squirrel, but I kind of wanted to add texture with the embossing powder, so I did it that way. And I'm gonna, let's see, if I put the photo here, this guy can go right there. Now on this surface, I have no idea how it'll turn out, and it didn't turn out well at all, but that's okay because I can scratch it up with a pen, and I have here a Slick Rider pen that I can scratch over the black part and kind of, I've got the outline well enough that it's just going to look like a kind of scratchy image of a squirrel. And if I don't like it, I have a paper die cut punched squirrel that I can put over it or layer on it. See, that's not too bad. I may layer one on it just to see if that double image looks good. Here's the blue is on the wrong side. There's that one. I need one that is heading that direction. There's this white one. Could maybe go there. It's a little bit different, so I won't do that. I will let it stand on its own, and I may embellish over it. So let's do this flare kind of in the middle of this. It'll break up this chunk of, let's see, let me get some glue on here. I'm using wet glue because that surface is not conducive to glue sticking. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use the flare to break up this area of chunkiness, and I'm going to put it on the photo, and I'm going to cover up these two girls with a butterfly. And I think I want to use this butterfly, which is a nice navy blue. So let me get some glue on it. There, and then I'm going to put something right there. Maybe I will do this squirrel right there. I don't want to put a lot because I kind of want the media to, okay, we'll get it on there. And then I could do, well, let's see, I'll just, I prefer that one over there next to her. So I've got a Bramble Fox star, or not star, heart. I wish I had stars. I'm totally out of Bramble Fox stars, even the ones that came in other kits. So I would have said to you that I had as many stars as I had hearts, but that's not true. I guess my last order had a couple different hearts. Let's maybe put this right here. That covers his Black Rifle logo, though. I'll see. Let's see where we're going to put the butterflies, and then that will tell me I thought maybe I'd put one here where the medium kind of messed up, and I have this large blue one there. I kind of like that. So I'll put it there. And I may lift those up and put them on pop dots at some point. So that's all of these butterflies that I'm going to use. And those are from a sticker sheet that I got during Calvin Ball. And they're from a big box store, and they are K & Company. And they're double layered chipboard. So they're really kind of hefty and nice. So I'm peeling another heart. Again, trying to call it a star. And I'm going to layer it on. And I'm going to put it down here so that the kind of rough edged brayer look shows through. And I'm going to layer this one on top. If I had anything to change, I'd have done the used a dark embossing powder. Okay, let's see. I need to lift this up with my tweezers and get it on so that the, well, let me do it the other way around. So the wide part is on the glue. And I think that'll balance it better. There we go. Now, I tell you what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock and I'm going to stamp this larger squirrel. These are visible image stamps. And this large squirrel should fit on that block. Let me do that with my VersaFine ink and see if I can get a good impression here. I could emboss it, but in the interest of time and complexity, or lack thereof, okay, good image. So I will fussy cut it out and it's gonna go right there. And I won't make you watch me fussy cut it because that's not a pretty picture with my hand issues. So I will do it off camera later after I've rested. But I do want to add some more texture and interest to this. So I am going to do some splatters. I really like these swaths with the brayer. I kind of like that idea. So something I'm glad I did. And this would show up so much better if it had been done in black or a darker ink. Going to be around there, so it does give texture. The embossing that I did, even the part that just enameled, you know, a big swatch that stuck. Okay. And I actually kind of like that the scallops, these scallops seem to be standing up from the paper, as is this little tear part right here. There's enough that's stuck down that that's not going to in danger of coming off. So I think if you can picture that being right there, I think we're good. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Maybe next week, I will be in Manchester, and I'm not sure, well, I tell you what, I can do it ahead of time before I leave. I know what the next challenge is because I just set the challenge. So I'll just try to do that page before I go and get it scheduled. So thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.